Storm of the century. Nearly a week after most of the lifts have closed for the season. Sums up this year in a nutshell, really. I can't tell if it's Christmas or Easter. It wasn't even forecast to be snowing in Chamonix. The freezing level was supposed to be up at around about 2,000 metres, with snow down to maybe 1,500. But here I am, valley bottom, just over 1,000 metres, and it's well and truly snowing. This is by far and away the most snow we've had in the valley bottom all winter. And it's, what, nearly the end of April. It's comfortably 30 centimetres or more down here. You can only imagine how much snow there is falling up on the mountain right now. This is absolutely insane. The plan was to go to Verbier today, but as it turned out, I barely even made it up the hill to Chamonix. Most people have changed out to summer tyres already. I've still got my winter tyres on, but everyone else on the highway was crawling along at 30 kilometres an hour. And indeed, not long after I got up here, the highway was blocked. So yeah, the valley has ground to a halt. It's kind of like being in the UK right now. Although granted, there's a lot more snow than you'd ever get in the UK. As tempting as it is to change back to your summer tyres when we've had week after week of warm, dry, sunny weather, you always get at least one big dump of snow in April in Chamonix, so yeah. Many people have jumped the gun, done it too soon, and now they're suffering the consequences. Having just about made it up to Chamonix this morning, I think I'm now stuck here. I've beached my van on my mate's driveway, so this is it. I'm probably here now for a couple of days until the snow finally melts. It will melt pretty quickly. It was forecast to be 16 degrees tomorrow. It's not going to be 16 degrees now with this blanket of snow everywhere, but yeah, tomorrow the freezing level is going back up to where it should be again. So it's going to be some very soggy, very sodden snow in the valley bottom. But for now, we're just going to have a good old-fashioned snow day. Got the sledges and the snow shovels ready, the beers on ice, sitting out in the snow. Just going to go to the park, have some fun. The one and only lift area here in Chamonix, Grand Montée, is closed for the day. They've struggled to get open there at the best of times, in the middle of winter, when they're fully staffed. As it is, most of the staff have been laid off for the season already, so there's no chance of them getting open at all today. Not to mention, the avalanche risk is extreme up high, so even if they had the staff, they probably wouldn't be opening much today anyway. So yeah, just going to play, have some fun, and see what is able to open tomorrow. Oh.
Hey.
I wasn't exaggerating when I called this the storm of the century. In some parts of the Aosta Valley over in Italy, they've been predicting over 4 metres of snow. Widely across the Swiss-Italian border, everywhere has been predicting in excess of 2 metres of snow, with quite a few places expecting over 3 metres of snow, all falling in a little over 24 hours. This is just absolutely exceptional. It's just unprecedented levels of snowfall and precipitation. Bear in mind this is wet, maritime, spring snow, much higher water content, very heavy, very dense. If you had this volume precipitation falling in the Colorado Rockies, for example, it wouldn't be 4 metres, it'd be 12 metres. So yeah, even by US and Japan standards, this is pretty crazy. The storm has spun up from the south and butted up against the Alpine barrier. So here in Chamonix, we weren't actually supposed to be getting all that much. We're very much on the edge of the intense precipitation. Obviously, Mont Blanc is between us and the main part of the storm, but actually, a lot more has blown over than we were expecting. As I was saying earlier, it wasn't really supposed to be snowing at all down in the valley, but I think what has happened is low pressures spin anti-clockwise, as the main centre of the low is kind of to our southeast. That's drawing down cold air from the north, which has undercut the fronts. And yeah, basically the whole northwestern portion of the depression, freezing levels have just plummeted. It's much colder, much snowier than we were expecting along this edge of the front. Even so, they were predicting over 1 metre of snow here in the Mont Blanc Massif, up above 3,000 metres. But I expect it's going to be around 1 metre of snow down to 2,000 metres. Up at 3,000, 3,500, we may well have, who knows, 2 metres, 3 metres, even more up on the tops of Mont Blanc Massif. Of course, it's not just snowfall. Lower down, this has been torrential rainfall, so you've got problems of flooding, landslides, trees are down. Up here in the Chamonix Valley, trees are falling down left, right and centre. So many roads are blocked because a lot of the trees are coming into leaf now, which means that the snow is sitting on the branches and they just can't hold the weight. So yeah, lots of roads are blocked, the trains aren't running, the replacement bus service can't run. So yeah, it feels a bit like Snowmageddon here in Chamonix right now. But yeah, lower down, out into the plains, there's going to be a lot of water finding its way into watercourses, so flooding is going to be an issue as well. So They'll be feeling the repercussions of this storm for days to come further out into the plains. The official avalanche warnings are widely 4 out of 5, above about 2,000 metres. And the only reason it's not higher below 2,000 is because virtually all the base is gone now. So there's no slide pane for this wet snow to sit on. It's just sitting on obviously loose rocks and gravel and scree. Although, of course, you do still need to be wary anywhere where the base is grass, because grass is the slide plane. I think in some parts of Switzerland and Italy, the warnings have gone up to level 5 out of 5, extreme. Large spontaneous avalanches will occur. That's pretty rare. I think I've only seen a 5 out of 5 black on the scale once, maybe twice in my whole life. So yeah, this is a very, very extreme weather event. This is where Swiss efficiency falls flat. This queue may not look very long, but this could well take over an hour. I bet every single person here, like myself, is here on a Chamonix pass or other area, sister area pass, and to get the passes validated here. In Crans-Montana, this is super quick and easy. You just flash your QR code, they give you a ticket. Here in Verbier, it's really not. It's an absolute pain in the ass. You need proof of purchase, ID, mother's birth certificate, the lot. The whole shebang, and it takes absolutely forever. It's so inefficient. Very, very un-Swiss. To top it all off, we've only got 3 ticket desks open out of 6. Classic. That took bang on an hour, as expected. Finally made it up. It looks like an absolute dream, but it's so heavy. The snow is really sticky, especially down here. I can't imagine it's much better higher up anyway, but I'm gonna go have a look, give it a go. Yeah, it's just warmed up so fast, so not great when you've got a fucked up knee. Managed to find a nice pocket of lovely untouched snow up here. I say lovely, it's definitely a bit of a crust because it was so heavy, so waterlogged yesterday. Up at this altitude it's then frozen a little bit overnight, so it's not sun crust, but it feels like a sun crust, so yet again, not great when you've got a fucked up knee. Still, if you have got 2 fully functioning limbs and you've got the confidence to absolutely charge in this snow, then it's much more forgiving. You've got the speed to just plough through it and break the crust, and yeah, you can have some fun. Not surprisingly, there's some pretty big lift queues today. These fairly epic snowfall totals were expected in Italy and parts of the Swiss valleys, but they're much less expected in France. We didn't really think there was much was going to get over the main alpine barrier, but it did. Boy, did it come over. It wasn't just around Chamonix, perhaps even more so further south into the Tarentaise, which is where all the big French ski resorts are, like the Teens, Val d'Isère, the Plan, Les Arcs, the Soir Valley. They were all cut off for the day again. You couldn't get up and down the roads because the roads were blocked with fallen trees, stuck cars, etc. And then the highest resorts, so Teens, Val Thorens, Les Arcs 2000, etc., they went into full lockdown. Everyone who was up there was under curfew, locked inside the doors because the avalanche risk was 5 out of 5, extreme. So yeah, this really was unprecedented. It's hard to know just how much snow fell here in Verbier itself, as it's compacted under its weight very, very quickly, but certainly it's pretty bottomless in places. But certainly by yesterday morning, they'd had well in excess of a metre of snow pretty low down, around about 2,000 metres, and it slowed most of the day yesterday as well. So yeah, even down to Verbier village itself, there was pretty phenomenal snowfall totals here, and that's 1,500 metres. But it has gone gloopy very, very quickly, unfortunately. It's super warm today. I'm definitely overdressed. I dressed for the blizzard of yesterday. Wasn't able to get home last night in chains, so I'm wearing my full-on winter gear, and it's pretty toasty now. I'm very jealous of all the people who were up in Flaine yesterday, or in some of the lower Three Valley resorts, Courchevel and Maribel, who were actually able to get out and get skiing whilst it was dumping down with snow yesterday. Because this time of year, you really need to be skiing while it's snowing. As soon as it stops, it just gets really heavy, really porridgey. So yeah, some friends were in Flaine and it looked absolutely all-time conditions. It was absolutely phenomenal. Bottomless, lovely, fluffy, soft powder, and you can ski through the trees, so it's pretty safe. But yeah, today we've missed the boat already, unfortunately. All this fresh snow has meant they've been able to extend the season here in Verbier by an extra week. They were due to shut Easter Monday, 21st of April, and now staying open until the 27th. And I wouldn't be surprised if other resorts around this part of the Alps are extending their season by a week or more as well. So that's obviously great news. Meanwhile, back in Chamonix, they've even reopened Brevant, despite the fact that they closed Brevant Flagère last weekend. They might also have been reopening Flagère as well. My friend was saying that he saw them preparing the pistes there too. So that's also great news. But coming to Verbier today was definitely the right decision. Despite the fact that it was a massive queue to get up here, and it's pretty busy when you're up here as well, it's far worse in Chamonix. Virtually everybody in the whole Haute Savoie has gone to Grand Montet today, and with Pochard closed, everyone has been heading to Hurst to try and get a little bit higher up to get to the better snow, and it's been absolutely mobbed. It's the biggest queues there I've ever seen. Well, I'm not there, I've not seen them, but I've seen other people's pictures of them, and yeah, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous there. The snow wouldn't be that good there anyway. It's one and done as always in Chamonix. The Compagnie de Mont Blanc, along with the Chamonix Mairie, has sent out a press release last night saying that the Guy de Midi was going to be opening eventually today, but to pedestrians only. They're banning skiers from going up. And if that had been the case, that would have been setting a very, very dangerous precedent, because the Vallée Blanche, it's proper backcountry. Yes, people consider it an off-piste itinerary, but it's not a waymarked off-piste itinerary. It's not controlled and patrolled in the same way that the off-piste itineraries here in Verbier, for example, are managed. It is proper backcountry. The second you step foot outside the gate there, you're on your own. You live and you die by your decisions. That's the theory anyway. So for them to be unilaterally closing it off to everyone on an avalanche category 4 day, in a normal season, avalanche risk Cat 4s happen dozens of times throughout the season. So potentially, if they'd done that this year, any time in future there's avalanche Cat 4, they could be closing the Vallée Blanche to anyone who wants to ski it. And, well, you're crazy if you do want to ski it today, but that's not really the point. Here in France, you do what you want, and if you hurt yourself, it's your own stupid fault for doing it. That's the way it always has been, that's the way it always should be. So yeah, apparently they had slightly backtracked on that announcement. Not officially, I've not had any kind of email saying that they'd opened it to skiers, but apparently some skiers have gone up today, have tried skiing it. Although, with Montemer's train and gondola being closed, we had a very, very long climb back up and then a difficult bushwhack and ski down to Chamonix. So it really wouldn't have been worth skiing it today anyway, but again, that's not the point. To be arbitrarily be closing the backcountry off to skiers is, yeah, it's a dangerous precedent to be setting, really. Here in Verbier, they've not opened up the Montgelée and Montfort sectors, so when they do finally open them up, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a couple of days' time, there'll still be tons of untracked powder to be had on the highest peaks around here. A few people have boot tracked up at least part of the way on Montgelée and skied some of the north face lines. Looks pretty bony, pretty sketchy, but there's definitely a few lines coming down that. Also seen some people skinning up and skiing down from part way up Montfort over the backside. So again, some people have ventured a little bit higher up and taken that chance, but there's still tons of untouched to be had up there. I simply had to stop and take in that view for a minute. It's absolutely spectacular. Over there you got the Petit Combin and Grand Combin. That's one of the 4,000 metre peaks. It's actually 3 of them. up there, as I pointed out last week. Got the Bec de Rosses, home of the Rewired World Tour. And all the way up there, you can just about see the top of the Montfort lift, which is the highest lift in Verbier at 3,330 metres. That kind of big, ugly, grey, rectangular thing. And the black piece that comes down that front face, which is super steep mogul run. And then behind me up here, you've got the south side, the sunny side of Montgelais. So that's a peak with a cable car up, but no piste down. Everything off of there is an off-piste itinerary or completely off-piste backcountry skiing. So it's a super cool mountain, some amazing lines up there. So believe it or not, there is actually even more snow in the forecast this weekend and into next week. A few days ago they were predicting 20-25 centimetres plus this Sunday. Last time I checked, which was actually yesterday, it had gone down to only about 5 centimetres, but the way the season's gone, you never know. There could be another small dump this weekend and beyond into next week as well. But freezing levels are, again, back up to normal, above 2,000 metres, so it certainly won't be snowing down in Chamonix again. Snow line might be temporarily below 2,000, but again, it'll be heavy and soggy. So for the best snow next week, you need to go up high, as usual this time of year. So that's just about it for me from Verbier today. It wasn't the epic powder day that we were all hoping for, far from it. We really need to have been able to ski yesterday, unfortunately, but take what you can get and really can't complain too much this time of year. All this snow that's fallen now, okay, it's not been much use for us skiers, but this is just building up the glaciers and the high mountains for the alpine summer season. So I'll be filling in some of those bergschrunds, banking out some of the rocky steps in the couloirs. So this is great news. It's exactly what we needed for the summer alpine and climbing season, as up to this point it was looking very, very lean in the high mountains. So yeah, epic snowfall, not great for skiing, but good news for the high mountains nonetheless.